The beggar at Dock 7, the spaceport on Viorna K5, was always loud and dirty. Ships came and went. Smugglers, traders, and aliens from every system passed through. No one cared about anyone here. It was the perfect place to disappear. Leo, a young human engineer, worked at Dock 7. He fixed engines, charged fuel cells, and sometimes stole parts from broken ships to sell later. He wasn't rich, but he had a kind heart. Maybe too kind for a place like Vornak 5. That day, he noticed something strange. A beggar sat near the loading ramp, dressed in old, torn robes. Her head was down, and her face was hidden by a dirty hood. She didn't speak. She didn't move. People walked around her like she didn't exist. Then, a group of security bots rolled past. One of them beeped and flashed a red light. Unauthorized being detected. No ID found, the bot said in a robotic voice. The beggar didn't move. She just stayed quiet. One of the bots shocked her with a small electric rod. She fell to the ground with a soft cry. A few aliens laughed and kept walking. Leo frowned. "Come on, she's just a beggar," he muttered. He stepped forward. "Hey, leave her alone. She's not hurting anyone." The bots paused, scanned Leo's ID badge, and then backed off. Leo kneeled beside her. She smelled like smoke and dust. He reached into his bag and pulled out a small food cube. "Here," he said. "It's not great, but it's warm." The beggar slowly looked up. Her hands were shaking. She took the food without a word. Leo looked closer. Her hands were thin, but her fingers were too long for a normal alien. Her skin was pale blue, and tiny glowing lines ran across her fingers. "Strange," he whispered. "You don't look like the other beggars." She finally spoke. Her voice was soft and dry. "They're hunting me. Please, don't tell anyone I'm here." Leo blinked. "Who's hunting you?" The beggar said nothing. She looked around nervously. Her hood fell back slightly, and Leo saw something flash beneath it, a symbol, glowing faintly on her forehead. He gasped. He had seen that symbol before. It was the royal mark of the Velari Empire, a powerful alien race that ruled many star systems. But the royal family was dead. The princess died 3 years ago when their capital was attacked. Everyone knew the story. Leo shook his head. "No way. You can't be her." The beggar looked straight at him. Her eyes glowed deep blue, like any normal Velari citizen. Only the royal bloodline had those eyes. "My name is Ryla," she said. "I am the last heir to the Velari throne." Leo stood up, heart pounding. This couldn't be real. "Wait, you're saying you're Princess Ryla? You died?" Everyone saw the explosion. She pulled back her hood completely. Her face was bruised and tired, but she had the sharp, elegant features of the Velari royals. The glowing symbol on her forehead pulsed softly. "I escaped," she said. "They tried to kill me, but I survived." Leo looked around. A few people were watching now. Too many eyes. He leaned closer. "If you're really her, then you're in danger." "Big danger," she nodded. "I can't trust anyone. That's why I hid. But now, they've found me." Suddenly, a loud beep echoed from the dock. Security bots returned. This time, more of them. Their scanners were glowing red. "Unauthorized biosignature detected. Pursue and capture." Leo cursed under his breath. "They know." He grabbed her hand. "Come on. We need to get out of here." She didn't move. Leo pulled her up. "If you stay here, they'll kill you for real this time." The beggar no. Princess Ryla nodded and followed. They ran into the shadows of Dock 7, away from the lights, away from the bots. Behind them, alarms began to sound. The hunt had begun, but Leo wasn't just helping a beggar anymore. He was now running with the most wanted being in the galaxy, and nothing would ever be the same again. The hidden identity. They didn't stop running for 10 minutes. Dock 7 was far behind them now. The lights, the bots, the shouting all gone. Only the hum of distant ships and the hiss of steam vents filled the air. Leo pulled Princess Ryla into an old maintenance tunnel beneath the port. The air was thick with oil and dust. Leo's lungs burned. "Okay," he panted. "Start talking. Who are you really?" Ryla leaned against the tunnel wall, breathing hard. Her hood was down, and for the first time, Leo saw her fully in the light. Her face was beautiful but worn. She had the look of someone who hadn't slept in weeks. Her eyes glowed a soft, royal blue, and the mark on her forehead shimmered like starlight. "I told you," she said softly. "I'm Princess Ryla of the Valari Empire." Leo shook his head, pacing back and forth. "No, no, that's impossible. You're dead. The whole galaxy knows you're dead. That explosion. We saw it on the feeds." Ryla didn't argue. She just closed her eyes for a moment and whispered, "Not everything you see is real." Leo blinked. "Are you saying they faked your death?" She looked at him. "They needed the galaxy to believe I was gone. That's how they took the throne." A cold shiver ran down Leo's spine. "Who?" he asked. Ryla paused, her voice turning colder. "My uncle, Lord Varys. He poisoned my father, burned the palace, and blamed rebels for the attack. The people believed him. He declared emergency rule, and then he became emperor." Leo stared at her. "But why didn't you come forward sooner? If you survived, why hide?" Ryla's eyes filled with a quiet sadness. "Because I had no proof, no support, and every time I tried to reach someone loyal, they vanished, one by one. My guards, my friends, even my own sister." Rio sat down on an old crate, his mind spinning. "So you've been hiding for 3 years?" Ryla nodded. "Changing names, disguises, moving from planet to planet. I begged, I stole, I did things I never thought I would, just to stay alive." A long silence followed. The only sound was a distant clank from a pipe above. Finally, Leo said, "So, why now? Why come to Vornik 5? She hesitated. Then she pulled out a small metal object from under her robes. It was a cube, about the size of a fist, covered in strange alien symbols. "Because I have this," she said. "It's called the Stellar Key." Leo raised an eyebrow. "Sounds expensive." "It's more than that," she whispered. "It's a living AI. It holds secrets of the Valari Empire, war plans, codes, locations of hidden fleets, and proof of everything Varys did." Leo leaned forward. "And let me guess, now he knows you have it." Ryla nodded. "He sent hunters after me, mercenaries, spies, even bots. That's why they found me at Dock 7. Someone must have tracked the key." Suddenly, the cube lit up in her hand. It hummed quietly, then spoke in a smooth, female voice. "Warning. Unauthorized scan detected. Cloaked vessel approaching. Estimated time, 3 minutes." Leo jumped to his feet. 3 minutes? Cloaked ship? "That means they found us again," Ryla said. "We need to move now." They rushed out of the tunnel, heading toward Leo's old garage, a dusty, half-broken place where he fixed small ships. Most of the time it was ignored. That made it perfect. Once inside, Leo sealed the door and activated the internal jammers. This should keep them blind for a bit. Ryla looked around. "You live here?" "Not really," Leo said. "Just work here. The guy who owns it owes me money, so I crash here when I need to disappear." She smirked. "Fitting." Leo stepped closer. "So what now? You've got this key. You've got the truth. But no army, no allies. And everyone's trying to kill you." She turned to face him. "I need to reach a hidden resistance cell on C. Arthos 9. They're loyal to the true royal bloodline." Leo frowned. "Carthos 9? That's 5 systems away. Heavily monitored. Full of patrols." "I know," she said. "That's why I need a pilot. Someone nobody suspects." Leo raised both eyebrows. "Me?" She nodded. "You're human. Neutral. Varys doesn't expect humans to get involved. That's your advantage." Leo rubbed his face. "Look, I just fix ships and sneak cheap parts past scanners. I'm not some rebel hero." "Then why did you help me?" she asked softly. "You didn't have to." Leo hesitated. He remembered the way the bots shocked her, the way everyone ignored her, the way she looked at him like she had nothing left but hope. "Because it was the right thing to do." Ryla smiled. "That's exactly why you're the right person." Suddenly, the lights flickered. The cube in her hand lit up again. "Alert. Perimeter breach. Multiple heat signatures detected. 1 minute until contact." Leo cursed. "They're here." Ryla grabbed his arm. "We have to leave." Leo pointed to the back. There's a ship, half broken, no weapons, but it flies. That's all we need, she said. They ran to the hangar bay, jumped into the small ship, and Leo powered up the core. Engines groaned, lights blinked, but the ship came alive. Outside, shadows moved. Figures in black armor surrounded the building. Laser sights danced across the hangar door. Leo yelled, "Hold on." He slammed the launch button. The ship roared to life and blasted through the roof like a bullet. As they flew into the dark sky, fire rained down behind them. Blaster bolts chased their tail. Inside the cockpit, Leo looked at her. "You really are full of surprises." Ryla smiled, staring out into space. "This is just the beginning." The escape plan, the small ship, an old rust bucket Leo named Dusthawk, shook violently as it broke through Vornik 5E's upper atmosphere. The controls screamed at Leo in at least 3 different languages, none of them friendly. "Come on, babe," Leo muttered, slapping the side of the console. "Don't explode now. I just fixed you." "Kind of." Ryla sat in the co-pilot seat, staring at the holomap. Her face was calm, but her fingers gripped the edges of the seat like she was expecting the ship to blow apart. "They're following us," she said. "Of course they are," Leo replied. "We just flew out of a fireball, and I may have accidentally hacked a military beacon to power the engines." She turned her glowing blue eyes toward him. "You did what?" "Don't worry," Leo grinned. "I do this kind of thing all the time. Except usually, no one's trying to vaporize me." The ship jolted. A red warning blinked on the screen. "Missile lock detected," said the computer. "Okay, now you can panic," Leo muttered. Outside, 2 sleek black ships tailed them. Veraz's hunters. Fast, silent, and deadly. 1 missile fired tracking heat. The Dusthawk began to spin. Leo dove into a steep dive. The ship screamed. "We're going to crash," Ryla said flatly. "Not if I make us crash on purpose," Leo said with a wild grin. She raised an eyebrow. "That's your plan?" "It's part of it." He slammed the control stick, pulling hard toward a nearby asteroid field orbiting a dead moon. The missile followed, but so did the 2 enemy ships. They entered the asteroid field. Rocks the size of small houses floated everywhere. One wrong move, and they'd be Space Jam. Leo weaved through the rocks like a crazy bird, twisting the ship left and right, up and down. The missile got closer, then bang! It hit a large asteroid and exploded behind them, taking out one of the hunter ships. "Yes!" Leo shouted. "One down." "Don't celebrate," Ryla warned. "The other one's still behind us." Leo flipped a switch. "Time for smokescreen." "You have a smokescreen?" she asked. Leo smiled proudly. "I don't, but I do have an oil leak and a box of fireworks." She stared at him like he was insane. He flipped the last switch. A burst of oily smoke and sparks shot out of the ship's back. The last hunter ship flew straight into the chaos and spun out. "We're alive," Ryla said, surprise. "For now," Leo said, "but we can't keep running forever. We need to disappear." Hidden in Junkthi landed on a junker station called Sarek Outpost, floating in the ruins of an old battlefield. Broken ships, old tech, and lost satellites surrounded the area. It was the kind of place where nobody asked questions as long as you paid. Leo guided the Dusthawk into a hidden docking tunnel. "I've got a guy here," he said. "Name's Grizz. He can hide ships, maybe even help us upgrade." Ryla was quiet. Too quiet. "You okay?" Leo asked. "I've just never trusted humans before," she said. Leo grinned. "We're not all bad." Inside the station, a heavy-built alien with 1 eye and 3 arms met them. He grunted. "Leo, thought you were dead." "Almost," Leo said. "Need a favor?" Grizz laughed. "Doesn't everyone?" Then his eyes landed on Ryla. They narrowed. "Who's the shiny one?" "Just a friend," Leo said quickly. Grizz grunted. "You always bring trouble, Leo. Follow me." He led them to a hidden chamber beneath the station filled with stolen tech, old weapons, and illegal ship mods. Ryla looked impressed, but alert. "Can you install a cloaking field?" Leo asked. Grizz scratched his chin. "Depends. You got credits?" "I've got this." Ryla said, stepping forward. She pulled out a tiny crystal disc from her robe. It shimmered like a star. Valari quantum crystal. Worth more than your entire station. Grizz whistled. Now we're talking. But someone's watching. While Grizz and Leo worked on the ship, Ryla wandered the station. She felt eyes on her. Shadows moving. Whispers in unknown tongues. Her instincts screamed, danger. She ducked into an empty hallway, and suddenly, someone grabbed her. Tall figure in black armor, wearing a mirror mask. Princess, the voice rasped. Your time is over. Ryla twisted, slammed her elbow into his mask, and kicked his leg. He didn't move. She whispered a word in Valari, and her hand glowed. She touched his chest, and a pulse of energy knocked him back. She ran. Back at the ship. Leo was finishing the cloaking system when Ryla stormed in. They're here, she said. Veraz's spies. I was followed. Leo froze. Grizz, he sold us out. Grizz appeared behind them. I didn't sell you out, he said. But someone else might have. Your little magic stone lights up every sensor in a 10-mile radius. Ryla looked down. The stellar key. She had kept it close, but it had betrayed her. Suddenly, the station shook. Unidentified ships approaching. The alarm blared. Leo ran to the console. 2 cruisers. Not patrol. Not local eras, Ryla said. Grizz growled. You brought war to my doorstep. Leo turned to Ryla. We need to go. Now, she nodded. But not just run. We need a route to Carthos 9, Grizz sighed. I know someone who can get you through the blockade. Leo frowned. Who? Grizz leaned in. Her name's Nira, a smuggler. Fast, smart, and extremely dangerous. She won't help you unless you give her something big. Ryla looked at the stellar key, then at Leo. We'll make a deal. Whatever it takes. Outside, ships docked. Armored troops entered the station. Grizz yelled, go. I'll stall them. Leo and Ryla jumped aboard the Dusthawk. As the engines roared, Leo turned to her. Where does this Nira person live? Ryla said quietly. The one place Veraz never dares to go. And that is the Grave World. The truth about the coup: the Grave World wasn't on any official star maps. It was a ghost planet surrounded by debris, bones of broken warships, shattered moons, and old weapons left floating in eternal silence. Ships that came too close disappeared. Some said it was cursed. Others said it was alive. Leo didn't care what it was. All he knew was that flying into it was either brave or incredibly stupid. Possibly both. You sure this Nira lives here? Leo asked, gripping the flight controls. Yes, Ryla said calmly. She hides in places no one dares to look. That's how she survives. The Dusthawk flew low, weaving between twisted wrecks and floating debris. Sparks lit the sky. Some wrecks still had life, flickering lights, half-dead machines groaning like dying beasts. Then, ahead, they saw it, a massive ruined warship, split in half like a cracked egg, floating above a black ocean of dust. In the middle of the wreck, a faint light blinked, then opened into a glowing landing strip. Either that's an invitation, Leo muttered, or we just entered someone's trap. Ryla said nothing. She simply reached for her belt and pulled out a small dagger, glowing with ancient Valari energy. Leo swallowed. Cool knife. Totally not worried. Enter Nira, Queen of the Black Market. The landing bay was empty. No guards. No sounds. Just the echo of their footsteps and the groan of ancient metal. Then, a voice echoed from the shadows. Smooth, playful, dangerous. So, the lost princess finally crawls out of her grave. From the far end, a figure stepped into the light. She was tall, lean, with short silver hair and a long black coat that swirled like mist. Her eyes sparkled like she knew every secret in the galaxy, and maybe caused half of them. Nira, Ryla said, nodding once. Nira tilted her head. Ryla, still breathing. I see. Leo looked between them. You two know each other? She tried to have me arrested once, Nira said cheerfully, for smuggling imperial fruit. It was rotten and laced with illegal memory spores, Ryla replied. Nira shrugged. Still, harsh. She turned her eyes to Leo. And you must be the human. The soft one, Leo, he said. Engineer. Not soft. Just. Not bulletproof. Nira laughed. Charming. You two brought trouble, didn't you? Leo pointed toward the back of the ship. Varys's men are chasing us, and they're not knocking politely. Neera's smile dropped. Then come. I think it's time you saw what Varys is really hiding. The secret Coronira led them deep into the wrecked warship. It had once been a Velari command cruiser, destroyed in the final days of the Civil War. They walked past ancient battle scars, melted walls, dead machines, cracked glass where space once poured in. Then they reached the core chamber. R'yla froze. The walls were pulsing, not with energy but with something else. Something alive. Veins of glowing black material ran across the room, beating like a heart. In the center, a tall tank of liquid glowed red. Inside it floated a twisted shape, part Velari, part something else. Leo stepped back. What is that? R'yla whispered. That's not Velari tech. That's Zal tech. Neera nodded. You've heard of the Zal? R'yla nodded slowly. Ancient parasites, thought to be extinct. They infect, control, and evolve. They're monsters. Neera tapped the tank. Varys is working with them, maybe even controlled by one. This is his secret weapon. A hybrid army. Leo's jaw dropped. Wait, he's building parasite soldiers? No, Neera said. He's breeding them, and he's using Velari DNA to make them smarter. R'yla stared at the thing in the tank. That explains why my sister's body was never found. A silence fell. Heavy, cold. Neera placed a hand on R'yla's shoulder. Varys doesn't want a throne. He wants the entire galaxy under his control. Hive mind style, Leo whispered. And Earth. R'yla turned to him. He'll use it, just like the others. He'll claim peace, offer power, then inject his soldiers. And slowly, everyone becomes him. Coming trouble suddenly. A beeping sound. Neera pulled out a device. They're coming. 4 ships. 1 battleship. He tracked you, Leo groaned. Of course, he did. Why wouldn't the evil parasite overlord have a tracking AI? R'yla pulled out the stellar key. It glowed brighter than ever. He wants this. It's the last piece he needs to unlock the prime core of Velari. Neera's eyes widened. You didn't tell me you had that. Leo looked confused. Wait, what's the prime core? Neera explained. It's a system buried beneath the old Velari capital. It controls the entire planetary defense grid, the hidden fleet, and a vault of ancient tech. Riley added, and if Varys gets access to it, nothing will stop him. A heavy silence fell. Then Leo, very calmly, said, so, we don't let him have it. The beginning of war as the enemy ships closed in. Neera opened a hidden vault. Inside, weapons, gear, stealth suits, and a strange cube-shaped ship, sleek, fast, and untraceable. I've been saving this for a rainy day, she said. And today, it's pouring hellfire. Leo and R'yla suited up. What's the plan? Leo asked. R'yla said, we go to the capital. We get to the prime core before Varys. We wake the hidden fleet. And we end this. Neera handed R'yla a small device. You'll need this. It's a memory drive. It has video proof of the parasite inside Varys. Leo blinked. You recorded that? Neera smirked. Of course, I did. I sell secrets, remember? Alarms sounded. The enemy had docked. Neera's smile faded. I'll stay and hold them off. R'yla shook her head. You'll die, Neera winked. Probably, but it'll be a very expensive death. She shoved them into the ship. Go and tell the galaxy the truth. The doors slammed shut. As the ship launched, they looked back. Neera stood alone, facing Varys's soldiers with 2 plasma pistols, a grenade in her teeth, and a grin like a wolf. The road ahead as they flew away from the grave world. R'yla sat in silence. Leo looked at her. You okay? She shook her head. No, but I know what we have to do. Leo nodded. Good. Because I think it's time the galaxy saw the real you. She stared out the window. Then let them see. Enemies on every planet. The stars blurred past as the stealth ship jumped into hyperspace. Inside the cockpit, Leo stared at the navigation panel. The next stop. Valerian, the old capital of the Velari Empire, now under heavy surveillance. A dead city hiding a living secret. Behind him, Ryla sat in silence, her eyes glowing faintly. She hadn't said much since they left the grave world. Since Nira stayed behind. You thinking about her? Leo asked. Ryla nodded slowly. Nira saved us. And now Veras knows we're heading to the core. Leo sighed. He probably knew before we did. She turned toward him, face serious. Then we move faster. Before he locks the gate forever. Detour on Targos Primethi dropped out of hyperspace near Targos Prime, a jungle-covered planet. Known for pirates, smugglers, and more humidity than should legally exist. Ryla needed someone, an old Valari general turned outlaw named Commander Trask. If anyone knows a secret route into Valerian, it's him, she explained. Leo landed. The ship outside a half-buried spaceport covered in vines and rust. Inside, the bar smelled like oil, smoke, and betrayal. The kind of place where everyone watched you, even when pretending not to. Ryla and Leo found Trask sitting in a booth, sipping something neon blue. He looked up old, scarred, one mechanical eye. Princess, he said with a slow grin. Didn't expect you to be alive, or this bold. I need your help, she said. Trask raised an eyebrow. Say please. Ryla narrowed her eyes. Leo stepped in. Please. Trask laughed. I like the human. He'll die first. Then, suddenly, Trask froze. His eye blinked. He touched his ear. We've been followed. Outside, engines roared. Leo ran to the window. 5 ships. Not local. There, blocking the sky, Trask stood. He must have planted a tracer on your ship. Ryla cursed. Again? Trask pulled out a strange remote. Lucky for you. I planned for betrayal. He pressed the button. The building exploded, just the outer walls. Smoke everywhere. A distraction. Follow me, Trask yelled. Ambush and Escapathy raced through the jungle as drones flew overhead. Ryla activated her blade, slicing through thick vines and scout bots alike. Leo stumbled behind, sweating like a waterfall. Why are all the bad guys always in great shape? He muttered. They reached a cliff. Below, river. Fast. Angry. Trask pointed. Jump. Leo blinked. I don't swim. Then fall well. They leapt. The river dragged them for miles before they finally washed up near Trask's hidden camp. There, under a waterfall, lay an old warship covered in moss. That's your secret ride? Leo asked. Trask grinned. She may smell bad, but she FLIs like a dream. The price of trust back on board. As the ship lifted off, Trask gave Ryla a memory chip. This map leads through the Shadow Ring, a backdoor into Valerian. But it's not free. Of course, it's not. Leo muttered. Trask stared at Ryla. I want amnesty. For me and my crew. When you take the throne. Ryla said nothing. Leo asked, do you trust him? She replied, no, but I trust the map. Betrayal on planet Vexa. Next stop, Vexa, a desert world where they hoped to refuel and lay low. Instead, they walked into another ambush. This time, it was personal. As they stepped off the ship, they were greeted by Juno, an old friend of Leo's. She ran a mechanic crew, and once helped Leo escape a gang war with only a wrench and a bad attitude. Leo, she cried, hugging him tight. You're alive. Leo smiled. You too. Still breaking ships to fix them? Only the expensive ones. She offered shelter, food, even a working shower, which Leo called a religious experience. Everything felt safe. Too safe. Then, late that night, Leo found Ryla standing by the window. Something's wrong, she whispered. That's when the lights went out. Doors slammed shut. Traps activated, and Leo saw Juno's face on a holoscreen talking to Veras's command ship. I've got them both, she said. The key, too. Send the credits. Ryla drew her weapon. We were fools. Leo clenched his fists. She was my friend. Ryla nodded. That's how betrayal works. The Firefight base erupted in gunfire. Ryla moved like lightning, deflecting plasma bolts, disabling guards with precision. Leo grabbed a stolen rifle, missing every second shot, but getting lucky with the rest. They fought their way through the base, into the hangar. Leo turned to Ryla. We're not getting to the ship, she smirked. Who said we're using ours? She pointed to a luxury cruiser parked nearby. Stolen vehicle it is, Leo said, running after her. They blasted out of the hangar, chased by 3 fighter ships. Every planet is a Trapover the next week. They jumped from planet to planet. No rest, no allies, no trust. Every time they landed, someone was already waiting. Someone was always watching, and someone always wanted the key. Leo sat in the cockpit, hands shaking. This isn't a chase, it's a maze. And we're the rats. Ryla stared at the stellar key. It's calling to him, she whispered. Somehow, it's connected to him. Leo frowned. What if it's not just a tracker? She looked at him. What if it's a link? Realization. Ryla activated the key. For the first time, it pulsed red, not blue. A voice echoed in her mind. Deep, twisted. You cannot stop me, niece. Your blood makes you mine. Ryla staggered back. Leo caught her. What happened? She whispered. He's inside the key. His mind. He's part parasite. And he's learning every move we make. Leo's face turned pale. We've been playing chess with the guy reading our thoughts. Ryla nodded. And we've already lost. But not yet. Leo sat up straight. Then we changed the game. Ryla blinked. What do you mean? He grinned. We stop running. We don't go around him. We go through him. Ryla frowned. He'll be ready. Good, Leo said. So are we. She stared at him for a long moment, then nodded. We go to Valerian. We start the war. The Resistance. The planet Valerian looked like a ghost. It had once been the jewel of the Velari Empire. Sky cities, golden towers, crystal fields that sang in the wind. Now, it was silent. Blackened towers, empty streets, faded banners flapping in acid winds. Leo looked out the window of their stolen cruiser and whispered, "This place feels wrong." Ryla didn't respond. She just stared at the ruins of her childhood, face unreadable. I was born in that tower, she said finally. Now, looks like a broken tooth. The ship passed over wrecked monuments and burned ships. Valerian had bled, and the scars had never healed. Is the Resistance really still here? Leo asked. They're buried deep, she replied. But they never left. The gate below the gravity landed in the remains of the Velari royal crypt, hidden beneath the palace ruins. Once a place of honor. Now, dust and shadows. Ryla placed her hand on a stone circle in the floor. It scanned her DNA. A soft click echoed. Then the floor opened. Stairs spiraled down into the dark. Welcome home, she whispered. The last light at the bottom. They stepped into a glowing chamber filled with tech, armor, and tired faces. A dozen rebels stood guard, most of them older, scarred, or half mechanical. These weren't soldiers anymore. These were survivors. A tall Velari man stepped forward. Silver hair, cold eyes, a long scar down his cheek. Ryla, he said. We thought you were dead. Clearly not, she replied. Leo whispered. Friendly bunch. This is Commander Vornax, Ryla said. My father's old general. Loyal, suspicious, not great at parties. Vornax frowned. And who's the human? Alive, Leo said, raising a hand. And better at crashing ships than fighting wars. The rebels chuckled softly. Just barely. The blood-proof thee gathered in the command chamber, dusty, dark, lit by ancient crystal panels. Ryla stood in the center, placed the stellar key on the table. I have the key, she said. I have Veraz's crimes on record. I have the route to the Prime Core. And I have my birthright. Vornax stepped forward. Anyone can claim royal blood. Ryla nodded. Then test it. She pulled out a blade, sliced her palm. Her blood dripped onto the old Velari symbol on the floor. Nothing happened. Then, the symbol lit up, glowed, rose into the air. A hologram appeared. The face of the old emperor, her father. If you are seeing this, I am dead, and my daughter has returned. The room went silent. Vornax bowed his head. My queen, the plan. Ryla wasted no time. We go to the Prime Core, activate the hidden fleet, broadcast the truth about Veraz, rally any system still willing to fight. Vornax frowned. And then, we take back the Empire. Leo raised a hand. Small detail. Veraz has an army of parasite soldiers. cloaked ships, and maybe mind powers. Ryla nodded. That's why we won't attack his army. She pointed to a map. We're going to attack his mind, the parasite. Webrilla explained. Varys is not just working with the Zal. He's merged with them. He sees through them, commands through them. His empire is built on a hive. Leo frowned. You're saying if we take out the hive, we cut off the head? Vornax growled. Then we need to locate the source. Ryla nodded. I already have. She held up the key. It flashed with coordinates. The hive core is hidden beneath the old mining colony on D. Arthurus 6, buried deep in ice. If we destroy it, we destroy him. Preparing for war over the next 48 hours. The resistance prepared. Old ships were repaired. Hidden weapons were pulled from vaults. AI drones were reprogrammed, and messages were sent across the stars coded, hidden, desperate. Some were ignored. Some were answered. From across the galaxy, dozens of broken factions responded. Pirates, traitors, former soldiers, even a few humans. The fight for the Velari Empire had begun. Leo's Discoveryos Ryla planned routes and fleet positions. Leo worked with an old AI core he found in the Resistance archive. It was slow, glitchy, and deeply sarcastic. You're not exactly my first choice, meatbag, the AI grumbled. Same. Leo muttered. He was trying to find a way to block Varys's mental link, something, anything that could shield minds. And then he found it. Wait, what is Project Epsilon? The AI froze. That file is restricted. Leo hacked it. The file opened, and his face turned white. The dark secret. Leo ran to Ryla, heart pounding. You need to see this. She looked, then stared, then dropped the tablet. No, because Project Epsilon wasn't just a plan. It was a copy of Ryla's DNA taken before the war. Stored, spliced, used. He's been using my DNA to stabilize the Zal mutations, she whispered. He's building an army with my blood. Leo stared. That's why they're stronger, smarter. They're part of you. Ryla's hands shook. Then I have to end it, no matter the cost. The armor of the Queen. Final scene of Part 6. Ryla stands in the old war chamber, donning the ancient Velari Queen's armor, silver, light, glowing with ancient energy. The stellar key floats beside her, humming softly. Leo adjusts his tool belt. I've got gadgets, a grudge, and exactly 2 working grenades. Let's roll. Vornax marches in, his squad behind him. For the Empire, Ryla looks out at the stars. Tomorrow, the galaxy sees the truth. The crown, the choice, the galaxy. The Resistance fleet hovered on the edge of Darthora 6E's atmosphere. Dozens of patched-together ships, glowing engines, reprogrammed drones, and ancient Velari war cruisers stood ready. This wasn't an army, it was a last stand. In the command chamber of her battlecruiser, Ryla stared at the frozen world below. That ice holds the hive, she said. And under that, him. Leo stood beside her, tightening the strap of his gear pack. What do you think Varys is doing right now? Ryla didn't look away from the glass. Waiting, watching, smiling. The invasion begins. The assault started with silence. Then, fire. Velari stealth bombers streaked down through the clouds, cutting paths into the frozen ground. Dropships followed, spilling out troops, droids, and resistance fighters. The battlefield cracked under their boots. Leo clutched his blaster tighter than he should have. His heart thudded like a broken engine. This is fine, he whispered to himself. Totally fine. I've played video games harder than this. Beside him, Ryla marched forward in full Queen's armor, the stellar key floating above her palm, like a tiny sun. It was glowing so bright now, it lit the snow around them. Each step they took closer to the hive. It pulsed brighter, like a heartbeat. The hive below ground opened up unnaturally. As if it was breathing. Troops stood frozen as the land cracked, folded, and then peeled back to reveal a chasm that led deep into the planet. Out of the darkness came the sound, not a roar, not a voice, but thought. Whispers, thousands at once, filling their minds. She is here. The blood returns. The flesh is mine. Soldiers screamed and dropped their weapons. Leo fell to his knees, gripping his skull. Then Ryla stepped forward. I am no one's flesh. She raised her hand, and the key pulsed blinding light, and the whispers stopped. Silence returned. She looked back at Leo. Stay close. Leo forced himself up. I'm regretting all my life choices right now. The final Shamberthy descended into the hive's heart. Darkness. Veins of glowing black webbing pulsed through the walls. At the center, a massive chamber of obsidian stone, shaped like a throne room, and in the middle sat Varys, but not as a man. And no longer even pretending. His form was tall, too tall, stretched like bone and wire. His face shifted like melted glass, sometimes Valari, sometimes beast, sometimes Ryla. His eyes were galaxies spinning and endless. The hive mind, the parasite, the emperor merged into one terrible thing. Daughter of the throne, he said in a voice like broken glass. You have come. You have returned to the root. Ryla stepped forward. I came to end you. Varys smiled, or at least twisted something like a smile. You cannot destroy what you are part of. He held up a hand, and the entire chamber awoke. Hive soldiers mutated. Glowing, twisted echoes of Valari crawled from the walls, the ceiling, the floor. Leo raised his blaster. This is a bad room. This is officially a bad room. The battle of the Mindrilla raised the key and everything paused. Time twisted. Reality bent. Suddenly, they weren't in the chamber anymore. They were inside a memory. A palace. Fire. Screams. Little Ryla running through burning halls as her uncle human then watched from the shadows, injecting himself with black fluid. You see now, Varys's voice whispered in her ear. You were never chosen. You were only useful. A key. A door. You are me. Ryla turned her younger self crying at her feet. Leo appeared beside her, confused. Where are we? This is his mind, she said. His truth. Then burn it, Leo said. Ryla knelt and touched the crying girl. Whispered, you're not a weapon. You're not him. The key flared, and the memory shattered. Back in the real world, the hive exploded into movement. Hive soldiers charged. Ryla moved like fire, her blade slicing through the first wave with grace and fury. Leo ducked, dodged, and fired wildly, managing to actually hit something for once. I'm a hero, he shouted. Then a giant hive brute punched him through a wall. Never mind, he groaned. Varys rose from his throne, wings of shadow forming behind him. You fight like a queen, but you die like a child. Ryla screamed and charged. The key and her blade collided with Varys's form and the room shook. The choice in the heart of the battle. The key pulsed violently. It began to speak not with words, but emotion. Power. It offered her a deal. Merge with me. Control the hive. Take the throne of minds. Rule not just the Valari but all. She saw it, galaxies bowing. Peace. Order. Her face on banners. No more war. But Leo's voice cut through. Ryla, you're stronger than this thing. Don't become what you came to destroy. She stood frozen, power humming in her hands, eyes glowing bright blue. Then she smiled. I don't want a throne. I want freedom. She slammed the key into Varys's chest. You can keep the crown. The key lit up like a sun and exploded in light. The end of Varys. Varys screamed not in anger but in fear. His body cracked, shattered. The hive shrieked and collapsed. Hive soldiers fell. The throne room disintegrated into light, and the parasite's mind was erased. The aftermathrilla awoke on the surface, lying in the snow. Leo was beside her, blinking up at the stars. Did we win? He croaked. She nodded. We won. Ships circled above. Resistance banners flew. Valari stood tall again. But Ryla was different now. The key was gone. And so was the part of her that longed for the throne. The crown offered back at the palace ruins. The people gathered. The elders knelt. The fleet captains saluted. Queen Ryla, they said, take your crown. She stood on the steps of the broken throne. Leo beside her, Vornax behind her. She stared at the crown in silence, then shook her head. The galaxy doesn't need another ruler. It needs a voice. She placed the crown on the steps. Let the people decide their future. The messagelator, in the cockpit of a repaired Dusthawk. Leo stared at a blinking message. Incoming transmission, unknown source. He opened it. A face appeared near it, bruised, alive, smiling. Miss me? Leo laughed. You have no idea. Ryla leaned over. Where to next? Nira's message continued. There's something else out here, watching us. Bigger than the hive. Bigger than Vera's. Interested? Ryla and Leo looked at each other. Leo grinned. Adventure? Always, she said. The ship launched into the stars. A new chapter waiting.